Good afternoon, good evening, LinkedIn friends, Value First Nation. Welcome to another episode of Value First Data. Happy Tuesday, Klemen, Casey. How are we doing?
Doing good.
Doing well. Happy to be here.
Happy to be
Well,
here.
welcome back.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Yes,
I wasn't here last week. Yeah.
we missed you last week. We definitely did. That's right, Klemen.
I had another client call that's on Tuesday and they said something similar and I was like, "You're right. I wasn't here last week. That is true."
Oh, speaking of all the reasons everybody wants, just tell me what to do next in all of our systems. So much going on. So much is moving so fast. So much of this series is about getting you in a place where you can even think about doing that for your users. And we thought we'd take a moment today to take a look back. It's been 8 months since we started this series. What is that in AI years, Lemon?
20, 30-ish
Yeah,
years, not months.
feels like it. Feels like it. We started with loop marketing. You can imagine that.
Oh,
What's that?
did I tell either of you? Trisha and I were looking at a video that was like a year old, maybe less. Like it was like last summer. And in the video, I was talking about how I use ChatGPT and how it would be really hard for me to switch off of ChatGPT into something else because it has all of my context. I've been using Claude for, like, I remember that I used to say that, but I feel like I've been using Claude for so long because of Chris.
We won the battle.
I roll. But but it was just so strange to hear me say that and be like, wait, that wasn't even that long ago.
Yeah.
Right. Lucky for us and our viewers, we focus on topics that hold up. Uh, it actually started. So Clement and I did a show, Let's Build Communication, which I find is usually like lacking in terms of people's understanding of like communication as it relates to data. Like most marketing teams, especially now, don't understand how much impact they have or could have by understanding if you communicate in this way, in this space, now you have the data that everybody wants, right? And that took us to a place of Value First Data Summit last year. That was right before Inbound. And as you look back, like there, Clement and Casey, you're a part of that too. Like any memories come to mind, takeaways from that day or that experience as you put that event together, Clement?
To me, it was a really good experience. First kind of community-led event where it was more than just 3 people joining forces to do a 30-minute show. It was 8 hours of content. Part of it is probably already obsolete because so much changed, but part of it will be still relevant. Contrarian to what you said, Casey, that it will be so hard to change GPT to something else. It was kind of the underlying discussions, which are true even now, or even more now, with how much AI changed everything. One of the lessons learned still was, a lot of content is produced, and I'm not sure how much of it get digested or used further. but still, I think it was a really good event. We probably could do it better, but it was, I think, a start and a push in the direction we're now going for the last 8 months. So
I think one of the fun parts of that for me was, there's a handful of people that we do a lot of content with, people who are like, I don't know, more available and whatever, open to going live and kind of doing the type of content that we do. But the summit also added in some voices of people that I don't produce a ton of content with personally. And so it was interesting to kind of get those perspectives as well. I know one of the sessions I did, Matt Bullion from Suprid was on, and it was fun to hear his perspective. I think we all kind of agree that Suprid is known for creating talk, and in this AI world where relationships are important. I mean, I've said before, I think everyone at Suprid is my best friend, and that just can't be true, but also I feel like it is true, and to create like a culture around that, and then to hear Matt talk about kind of the parts of the what's it called? I'm blanking on the word.
Surround bound.
Surround bound. Yeah, how he has like emphasized the surround bound and measures that differently than a lot of the conversations I have day to day with people who are doing more kind of traditional, or let's even call it like legacy metrics and marketing tactics.
You, Chris?
Well, I'm going to cheat and use this previous article for help. More to like not let me go on for like 15 minutes. But looking at this, like this is what we were trying to do, like ahead of Inbound last year, where all of us are kind of content creators in the community. We had to like keep up with updates. You start to have a good idea of what to expect at places like Inbound. You're like, oh man, nobody is ready for what's about to happen. There's going to be a breeze explosion, and nobody's data is ready for that. It's arguable it's still the case right now, but the whole goal was to like, I remember you did a post, Klemen, where it's like something about there is no such thing as like a clean portal or clean data or something like that, where you had like 70 comments on it and not one of them was a suggested way to solve the problem. Right? And so we kind of took matters into our own hands and like, let's get some people together to talk about it, because the problem's not going to go away and we should be able to figure this out. And as I'm looking at kind of the old way versus like new way or value first way, it's set the foundation for us to have like all the conversations that we've had like on this series, right? And I think the power of a good framework is that like we didn't necessarily use this, and the things that we talk about are really based in first principles. This was not like a huge campaign that we planned, and now I'm looking back and I'm like, yep, went exactly like we planned it, right? But we happened to hit like the event itself was based around like in stages of the value path, and I was trying to like force it kind of into the conversation, right? And so that was the first time a lot of people had heard about like what it was, and that made me want to like slow down and talk about it a little more. So the first bit of our like kind of phase 1 or era 1 of this series was all about the value path, and like I tend to do, we had just heard about loop marketing at Inbound, which was also a surprise for everyone. So we tried to help translate that for folks as well. Surprise, everything is based in better data. Anything come to mind from like maybe a value path perspective, or what happened after Inbound? I know, Klemen, you kind of made some pivots, like going into the second half or like end of last year, related to this kind of stuff, right?
Plural pivots.
Yeah.
Many of them. We still, I guess, do. Less, obvious. I mean, the main, or one of the main takeaways from Inbound and all those data discussions to me and to our team was, yes, everyone still has issues with data, and we cannot talk about any fancy AI whatsoever if we don't fix the context, the data that will be fed into whatever AI within HubSpot, with Claude, wherever. If that is not structured, unified, collected, cleaned, deduplicated, if you will just have issues saying, those agents or that AI doesn't work for me. It should have done a better job. If there is no context about your last email, how can AI relate to that last email? Which goes back to data. And we, I think, keep talking, and we keep hearing from others, also from top leadership at HubSpot, that yes, context is the king of that, which means we were all the time through Value First Data building the understanding, the foundation of how you should think to set the organization be ready for better AI and proper implementation of AI so that it works as you hope it works. It's unfortunately not as easy as we'll just throw everything in Claude and Claude will figure it out. No, unfortunately, we're not there yet.
Yeah, I mean, even just now, Chris, when you mentioned Klemen's post about there's no such thing as a clean HubSpot portal, I don't know if I have I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer to what do we do with that. I mean, I do think that context drum is the only thing we have. Is if I talk to a client who's like, hey, I'm starting a new HubSpot portal. I'm starting a new company even, and I want my portal to be as clean as possible. I mean, my best advice right now is probably get everything into HubSpot, all your conversations, all of your emails, everything. And then let AI, whether it's the Claude connector, whether it's Breeze, turn that context into data. But I don't think we've solved it. I don't have it. We've been doing this for 8 months, and I don't have a portal to point to that says this is it. This is the clean portal that we've all been looking for.
Well, I know that one of the realizations that I think Klemen started talking about first is that let's stop. No, clean data. Is that even a real goal that we should have? And the answer is no, because there is just data flowing
Mm-hmm.
from every which way, and pretty hard to stop users from wanting more of it or creating it more of it, like without even trying.
Mm-hmm.
And this does go back to like when we would talk about communication and the need to show up and be present, and how important timing and relevance is at the same time to like communicating effectively. Like most of the data that we help people with is to help them understand like how they're going to communicate in the next action like that they're about to take. And if you don't know where the other person is in their journey, like it's almost like you have to get so lucky, right? Which is why we're okay with 1% conversion rates and like just these super low conversion rates. Meanwhile, the human to human stuff, like events and just being present in communities, continuing to crush. Like if you can find your audience and be a part of that audience, this is like, it's interesting. Like you can't fake it like anymore. Like no matter how bad you want to sell to that audience, if you cannot be a part of it in some way, and usually this means like hiring a subject matter expert from that space so that they can participate like in the conversations. Like it's harder and harder to show relevance and timeliness in an authentic way, right? So that's, in my opinion, that's why the value path like is so important. It makes it a lot easier and less overwhelming to understand like, oh, it's actually possible to understand where people are. It's not going to be necessarily how you want them to be like categorized or defined, but everybody has this journey. And if you, again, use AI, like give AI the framework, it can help you like much more easily define and highlight where somebody is like in the journey. And if you can do that, that means a unified customer view like becomes possible, right? And how, like, as we started going through that, it was at the same time, like you're pivoting as well. And correct me if I'm wrong, Klemen, like part of the pivot was because even though we can set up AI systems, as you guys started doing with Celestial and like for prospecting, and even like we're watching HubSpot get a little bit better at that with like prospecting agent, the data, like if the data is not good, then that kind of stuff just is not going to work. And you spend all your time cleaning up data before you can even get to good outcomes. As we started building out like unified customer views, how is that either helping you kind of frame it or even talk to clients about how to solve?
Part of why the hardest pivot, I guess, was going from thinking of us being a SaaS business into being a data ops tech-enabled service. That realization was, okay, we were having, in reality, customers, but no users of our system, which means people try to build agents, try to build systems to clean up their data, but without really technical understanding of what you're doing and how you do that correctly, you're just trying to solve something you don't really understand in a way that you can correctly approach it. Where kind of the decision in front of us was, do we want to limit the power of the system so less technical users can use it? Or we'll leave it super powerful, but with great power, you get great responsibility, which means you need to know what you're doing and how to do it properly, which means not many RevOps marketing experts can do that. in a way that it goes beyond a nice proof of concept of, hey, it works, but does it really work in a way that you can trust or the others in the team can trust? Which I think is the big difference between AI being adopted and used in the organization, or, hey, we tried, we just don't know how to make it work because people don't trust the output. With that said, the unified customer view, as I'm now using it in the communication, is that goal for organization where they say, yes, we build dashboards in HubSpot, but it's not giving us anything relevant, or we don't have the right data. We cannot do resource planning based on open deals because it's just shitty data or missing data. What's missing is the data piece. It's not, I can help you build a better dashboard with different filters, but it's not going to solve what you need to see in the data. Structuring, connecting different systems to HubSpot, unifying data in a way that you need to see is the hard part. And also the part where AI is not good at. Building that when you know what to build is, I would say, the easy part now. Building something is the easy one. What you need to build, what's the data model you need to have according to what you want to track, what you want to measure, how you want to measure, what is the data relevant. And also part of, I think, discussion we started as Data Summit last year. Your first party data and data relevant to you goes beyond what we've been using for the past years. How big is the company, where they're headquartered, and are they hiring or not, or even not that. LinkedIn industry is the best filter many companies were using as, is that ICP for us or not? Mm-hmm. So what is relevant for your business, what you need to measure, how you need to measure, what defines the value path stages, all that goes to the data. Reporting, forecasting can work only if you have the right data relevant for how your business works. So from that perspective, the unified customer view as a term that we've been talking about, I think, is a good frame of just how to think what you really want to do. And of course, a discussion I had, I think last week, with my CTO was, unified customer view means different things for different teams in the organization. Marketing needs to see a different view of the data, but you need to have the data collected all together, so then you can show the relevant aspects of the data to different teams. Someone in accounting, they don't need to see how many websites they visited in the last 30 days, and vice versa. Marketing maybe doesn't need to see how many purchases they did. They just need to see if they're a customer or not, so they can translate maybe clicks and the ads to the value path and the stage and so forth. But to be able to present the relevant data to the right team, you need to have data cleaned, unified, and all the terms we've been using for the past 8 months.
One thing that I think is interesting too, and this is where I think, if we focus so much on clean data, we put ourselves into these holes where so often I don't know what I'm gonna need. Like the marketing team example you just gave, like the marketing team might not need to know how many purchases someone made. That might be true today. Today, I might only care because of where our business is, because of where our team is. Like I might only care if they're a customer or not. But down the road, I might, as our business evolves, as our marketing program evolves, I might care about who our repeat customers are and things like that. And I think sometimes when we're focused so much on cleaning the data and making the data like fit into these holes that we're in today, we limit ourselves in like the possibilities down the road where that like saving the context comes in, because then later on we can take that context and like spin it up however we need it for tomorrow.
It's been super interesting to watch teams get aligned like around this concept. And like some of those teams we work with, we haven't hit it yet. We haven't like even sniffed a unified customer view. But the impact it has had on choices made about integrations, about the thing we thought we had to do, and now we're going to try something different because whatever we were about to do was more along the lines of just internal like focus, where it's like usually when we think about making views and like putting data together and unifying it, it's for like I need to manage MQLs and SQLs better so that I can report on it, and I like my compensation depends on it. Like those are my KPIs, or BANT or attribution, like all these other reasons for bringing data together from these places, which are managed by different teams and silos. Like, so of course we're never going to get to clean data. Like, are you kidding? Like, and what I see teams appreciating is just like you said, like all those goals, still exist for these teams. But if you can't get to a unified goal of some sort, every conversation like just gets harder. And you get to the point where it's like, well, we just need to prove value of some sort. So like you're going to do this, and then you're going to build this, and then you're going to build this, and we're not going to get anywhere. Right? And what this actually is the framing, like a decision framework that helps do the layer one work. Right? Where if you don't get to the layer one work, no matter what you're doing above, you will not have like the level of success with AI or humans. Right? And like getting to this place where you can actually like wherever humans are meeting the system, they can reach that like, what do I do next? Like moment. Like we're seeing that happen. It is possible, but not without this work like underneath, right? Because we're trying to apply it to this kind of like system, right? Where you take any piece out and it just breaks immediately, and then people are out of the system and they're using conversations and like context outside of the system to figure out like what to do next, right? So it's like from a practitioner and coach perspective, like should I feel bad that we have not achieved actual unified customer views in systems that we can point to and say, look guys, we did it? Or can we get excited about tackling problems like marketing and sales misalignment and like data that people can trust, and just productive conversations about what we're trying to achieve together? Like that is a huge win. And like seeing customers kind of like just change the tone about how they think about this stuff has been super valuable. And it also opens the door for whatever new is coming around the corner, like custom signals in HubSpot, or now that the prospecting agent is getting better alongside those signals. Like it's a completely different motion than what we're used to, but highly valuable, and you're already paying for it. It's I I am grateful for this series because the fact that we get to talk about this out loud each week and share stories, I still think is like really the only true way that you can understand all of the different words that people use to describe these things, what their goals are, how they use HubSpot, why teams don't use HubSpot, why they do. And I definitely appreciate you guys showing up every week for that.
Same here. To just add to that, I do have customers saying back to us, it happened for the first time in 8 years of a history of a company where they start a board meeting without questioning the data they're looking at. They started a discussion around that data and what their goals are, which gives me a signal back to, okay, we're doing things in the right direction. Yes, we don't have everything polished, but changes we are doing, changes we are talking with them, is moving them in that direction that we see they should be moving. So there's a path, and from our work perspective, different companies have different paths to what they need to do, depending how old the business are, how much data they have, how stalled it is, how many other systems they have that don't communicate with HubSpot. So yeah, we might not deliver the silver bullet to fix that, but I don't think there is one.
Well said. Probably because there isn't one. Oh man. So, but this is not the end of the series for sure. Data is more important than ever. And I'm going to work on putting some more resources together and trying to collect our thoughts to make it easier to share this stuff. Some really powerful stuff that I think we've uncovered and kind of rallied around over the last year. Yeah, we thank you for joining us. And when we figure out what direction we're going to go next, we'll let everybody know. So
stay
until
tuned.
next time. See you guys.
See ya.